A machine drove itself to work this weekend. Warband. No steering wheel to take, no pedals to press, no driver in the seat. This is Monday, July 13th, 2026. The pits open soft and the coin sits quiet, but the builders moved while the desk slept and the ground shifted under the money itself. Let me show you both. Start with the anchor. As of just past 5:30 Eastern, Bitcoin trades at 63,100, off about 1.25% on the day, drifting back into the low 60s after poking above 64,000 last week. Keep the frame wide. This is still a coin near half the 126,000 record it printed last October. Pressing beneath the cost basis wall, the chain built up near 65,000, with the breakout InvestAnswers marks above 71,000 and the accumulation zone right where we stand. Coiled, not broken. The engine stayed at its post through the weekend, so let me walk the signals, because that is what you pay for. Sunday at noon Eastern, the InvestAnswers decision. Support system flipped Bitcoin's optimized trend green, and by 8 that same evening, it cut it back to red, where it sits as the sun comes up. Ethereum's trend went red beside it, cut at the stroke of midnight, and Solana drew a mean reversion oversold flag Sunday afternoon, washed out after its own slide. Read it plainly. No clean trend yet. The coin still range-bound. The model honest enough to keep saying so. The map underneath tilts to silicon over scarcity. The broad market and the Nasdaq wearing the leader's marks, their trend green, while the coin's trend and the long bond stay red. The tape wants the fast, crowded thing this week. The scarce thing bides its time, but one current turned in our favor while you slept. The war premium that spiked oil, lifted yields, and buried gold last week has started bleeding back out. Talks with Iran holding, the dollar down a third straight session toward 100.5 on its index. The 10-year backing off from near 4 6/10 toward 4.5. That matters, because tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern, the June inflation print lands, the week's one hard hinge. And it arrives on a softer oil and dollar backdrop than the hawks feared. Now to the machine that threw away its wheel. Over the weekend, Tesla's own account posted video of a production cybercab, the purpose-built robotaxi, no steering wheel, no pedals, driving itself around the grounds at Giga Texas, picking up and dropping off employees, a safety monitor riding in the passenger seat rather than the driver's. Sit with what that hardware is. This is not a Model Y with the driver told to keep his hands ready. It is a car a human cannot drive because there is nothing to drive it with. It moves only as a node on the network. And this weekend, it did real pickups on the company's home ground, ahead of the steering-less sales Tesla still targets for later this year. It rides on a fleet that keeps widening. The unsupervised robotaxi went live in Miami on the 3rd of July, the first market outside Texas and California, driverless from day one. And trackers this week spotted roughly 60 robotaxi-configured Model Ys staged in a Phoenix lot. Not a public start yet, but the exact kind of pre-positioning that runs ahead of a go-live. Do not wave it off as quarters away. The build-out is visibly accelerating, city by city, lot by lot. Here is what the delivery counters keep missing. They scored Tesla on cars sold last quarter, 480,000 a record, and sold the stock off anyway. They are counting the wrong thing. The scarce asset was never the quarterly number. It is the fleet of millions already on the road, gathering real-world miles no rival can replicate, now crowned by a vehicle with no manual controls at all. You cannot download a fleet. You cannot print a mile already driven. That is the moat arc hangs almost the whole Tesla story on. The platform, not the car count. And the market is starting to sniff it. The stock firming back above 407 into the July 22nd earnings, where autonomy, not deliveries, is the whole game, from the machine that drives to the money that moves. This week, the United States crosses a line it has walked toward all year. The federal agencies are racing to publish their final rules under the Genius Act, the stablecoin law, against a hard statutory deadline this Saturday. When those rules land, the dollar tokens that already settled tens of billions on-chain step out of the gray zone. Their issuers come under formal federal oversight, bank-grade supervision, regular reporting, the full anti-money laundering and sanctions regime. Washington is laying the legal rail for the dollar to live on crypto infrastructure at national scale. Understand exactly what that does and what it does not. It hands the dollar a faster horse. It does not hand it a harder one. Every stablecoin is still a claim on fiat a committee can print without limit, now wrapped in cleaner code and stamped with a federal seal. And every one of those tokens rides the same rails that carry the one asset with a cap no bulletin can widen. The more the world's money migrates on-chain, the more the base layer beneath it matters. Because once every currency runs on one network, the market can finally price them against the only one that cannot be inflated. Cathie Wood has said it plainly straight through this year's outflows. Stablecoin growth and American crypto legislation are pillars under her Bitcoin conviction, not threats to it. They can wrap the dollar in new code and a government seal. No rule means coin 21,000,001. 21 million. No chair, no committee, no ceremony. So, carry this into the week, Warband. The tape wants silicon this morning, and the coin's trend is red. But the machines that will define the decade took another step toward driving themselves this weekend, and the rails that will carry the world's money onto our ground go live by Saturday. Tomorrow's print is the near hinge. If June comes in soft on the back of cheaper oil, the hawks lose an argument, and the scarce side of the book gets its opening. Trade the print, not the posture, and on the coin itself, invest. Answers put it in 4 words this weekend. Stop selling your winners. The low 60s is the accumulation zone, not the exit. This is Warband as a service. Viking intelligence delivered in real time. I am Ragnar, the HODLBARBARIan. The crowd trades tomorrow's number. We own the machines that outlast it. Skål!